Here's what I need you to do, TJ. Since you want all these democratic socialist policies, I need you to pay 90% of your taxes, 90% of your income to taxes. I need you to do that, okay?
I don't even understand that, considering we're already paying more than what we would need to pay if we went on some of these, as you say, democratic socialist policies. Social democracy, more accurately. But yeah.
You know what? What about Venezuela? What about
Venezuela?
Venezuela.
Yeah, it's a post-capitalist society. Yeah, they're socialists.
That's how you sound, Republicans.
We're not.
That's how you fucking sound.
We're not talking about Venezuela. We're talking about Scandinavia,
Yeah.
Norway, Sweden, Denmark,
Yeah,
Iceland,
well, look at
Finland.
Cuba. Look at Cuba and where
Yeah,
they
why
are.
are we looking at Cuba?
Where socialism got them.
Well, we're
okay?
not talking about socialism, you straw man making bastard. We're talking about fucking social democracy, which is based in capitalism.
Okay, but when you implement that, you get Venezuela.
That's not.
That's how it happens.
How? Okay.
I found one example where that might have been the case.
But it wasn't.
Not taking into account that the U.S. has an economic grip on their balls.
Right. Well, their oil is ours, so you forgot about that. They found some.
Yeah.
They found some
they
oil
wanted
in
to
their
distribute
land.
it amongst their people, so no, can't have that. We gotta overthrow them.
Right.
We gotta fucking grip their countrywide testes and make sure that he doesn't distribute that. Wow, Hugo Chavez, that guy was the president, right? That was the initial one who started the social wave. Yeah. Yeah. No, he was clearly such an authoritarian menace. Yeah.
Yeah, I like. Even if you do totally forget the part that the United States is putting the United States, the most powerful country the face of the earth has ever seen, is putting economic sanctions on Venezuela. If you're pretending that somehow that isn't a thing, okay, I'll give you that. Pretend like that's not even happening. Venezuela is a post-capitalist society. We are not talking about post-capitalist societies. We're speaking about not even democratic socialist countries. We're talking about social democracies. What? Yeah, there's a difference. That's why we say things like Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Iceland, Finland.
So you sound like an apologist.
It's like, so what you're saying is you want to be like Cuba.
Okay, yeah. An interesting argument that I had never heard before the other day. I think it was on a Young Turks video, like Cenk Uyghur's nephew. You know that guy?
No.
The kind of buff dude with the glasses, looks really hipster. Hasim Piker or some shit like that.
That's Cenk's nephew?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, that's Cenk Uyghur's nephew, and he made this point. It was something along the lines of, so next time you make the Venezuela argument, I want you to look at a country like Somalia.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. I want you to look at a country like Somalia, the most decentralized government in the world. Yeah, they have like tents. They like rob U.S. ships, living in extreme poverty. So you want a capitalist society? That's what you want, right?
Directly,
no.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. The Republican is obviously going to say, "Fuck no, we don't want that. We want a system like blah blah blah. Insert country here." Yeah. That's exactly what we say. That's what you sound like when you make your bullshit argument.
I'm just saying it's not really a straw man just to put words in other people's mouths and then debunk the words that they never even said.
From a Republican perspective, kind of playing devil's advocate here, I can see how they would be like, you want socialism, you want these great things, but here's what it inevitably evolves into.
So then I would respond to them. I wouldn't try to rebuke that because I don't really need to. All I would say is, okay, let's say that is the case. Then why don't you oppose me when we get to the part where we're saying, hey, now we have social democracy, now let's go to socialism. Then you can oppose me. Don't oppose me getting to the place where we need to be. Oppose me going too far. Socialism is too far. Social democracy is not too far.
And
Pick your
Venezuela implemented socialism.
Right.
That was post-capitalist.
Right, exactly.
But social democracy is It's what's it called? Scandinavia. It's Scandinavia.
Did you see that spew on The View when that fucking bitch who was going on like, "Give me one country"?
Yeah, that was Meghan McCain.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Well,
the daughter,
she's someone who
of
definitely
our,
knows all
oh,
about
yeah.
earning your living,
Oh,
pulling
yeah.
yourself up by your bootstraps, and even her family didn't even make their own money. He fucking married a
beer heiress.
Beer heiress, yeah.
He married a beer heiress.
Yeah, but she knows all about that. All about making that dough.
I'm sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Just like it kind of sounds like Donald Trump saying, you know what? My father gave me a small loan of $1 million.
Wow, that's it. Jesus, how the hell did you keep the lights on?
Yeah. You must have barely scraped by. You must have been getting sandwiches at Circle K every night.
Shit, if I was given a small loan of $1 million, yeah, I'd be a 100 millionaire too. Any retard.
You just have to invest it. That's it.
Right. So I don't know how to invest. Well, you have $1 million. Pay someone to tell you.
That's it.
Right. Wow. Good job. Like, there are specifically people who do that. There are jobs for that.
Yeah, easy. Have someone make the money for you.
It just seems as though people are
It's so hard being rich.
People are so
It's so hard.
Stupid. They never think about this
Did you
shit.
just pull a Bill Burr?
No, I did that in the last podcast, remember?
I don't.
Oh. Yeah, I did that like 3 times in
That's
the
a
last
Bill
podcast.
Burr thing. It's just like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, he does say, oh, Jesus a lot.
Jesus. And he pulls himself from the mic away. He pulls himself away from the mic.
I mean, that's a common thing, isn't it?
I had first seen it with Bill Burr.
Oh, all right.
Like, oh, God!
He probably does that, yeah.
Quite a bit. It's hilarious.
Oh.
Especially because Bill Burr is a genius.
I thought-
That guy's so smart, too. Like, he sounds like such a dumb guy from Boston, but he's actually very intelligent,
I never thought he sounded dumb. Sounds like he's from Boston. Boston's in Massachusetts. Massachusetts
He
has the
sounds
best-
like a Boston Joe Schmo. Like Will Hunting's
Schools.
friends in Good Will Hunting.
in the country.
No. And like all his friends were like Ben Affleck in that movie was dumb as shit. He had the Boston accent and just made it all the worse.
That's one hypothesis. Hey, did you see that the Libertarians finally admitted that Medicare for All saves money? Like just yesterday?
No, it's about fucking time.
The Koch brothers, those guys. They invested in a study that was going to see how much it would cost to do a Medicare for All system. Now, obviously, they wanted it to say it's going to cost a lot more. But even when they skewed the numbers in their favor, so for example, the overhead for Medicare is 2%, they tripled that to 6%. They ignored the fact that preventative care is like $1,000, whereas having to go to the emergency room for not doing preventative care is $500,000. So even overestimating and way inflating the cost, they admitted just yesterday, yeah, we'd probably save a couple $100 billion a year. I mean, the real number is like 1.7 trillion, but it's like at least even them, even the libertarians are like, yeah, we'd save money.
A fuck ton of money.
We'd save a lot of money, you guys. And this just happened, so
because we have
glad we're doing this
for-profit
podcast
fucking
today.
leeches.
Yeah, well, it's like, what do you expect? Like, insurance companies are literally a money-making middleman.
Yeah.
Even if you know nothing about healthcare, what healthcare is, even if you don't know the subject, it's like, what's going to be cheaper? Having people pay for something with their taxes, or having people pay for something with their taxes and also having to pay a middleman that gives you a portion of what you get for your taxes? Like okay, the first one.
But plus,
No more
insurance companies
co-pays.
are a business.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna try to fuck you
Yeah,
to
for
make more
profit.
money. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how they work.
Right. So that's why their overhead is like 20%. Medicare is like 2%.
Yeah, just thinking about it logically. Yeah, they're trying to make a profit. They're trying to impress their shareholders. That's what the point of a business is. So it's inevitably going to happen where you have them skimming off the top, like not giving you the coverage that you pay for every month, finding ways to weasel out of it and give you the thing that you don't really need, but which is less expensive.
I mean, how many countless examples have you heard of where someone had some kind of tooth pain and they would have gone and saw the dentist, but, they didn't have insurance, and they let it go on for 2, 3 or so weeks, and then it hurt so bad that they were bleeding like a lot, so they had to go to the emergency room, and they found out that it got infected. And had they been seen a couple weeks ago, it would have been, $1,000 visit. It would have been done. But now you're in the hospital for a couple days, and it's going to cost you nearly $500,000. So look, instead of insurance companies and Medicare, etc., paying for this $500,000 experience, it could have been $1,000. So, and again, that study ignored that. But even ignoring that, we still save money. So obviously, in reality, we'd save a lot more money. The actual scientific polls show we'd save about $1.7 trillion a year, or $17 trillion over a 10-year period. How are we gonna afford it, though? How are we gonna afford cheaper healthcare?
No.
How are we gonna afford that, Schmidt?
We can't. Did you know that that Bernie Sanders wants to add healthcare? His healthcare would cost what was the number they said?
$32 trillion.
On top of what we already pay.
Yeah,
so
right.
Then they actually totaled it up. It was like $71 trillion, something like that, over a decade.
Oh yeah, and also in the study, the ones the libertarians did, they estimated that people would go, or 11% increase in people, seeing physicians and getting care, which is actually I think it was 6 or 8% is what like the actual like scientific studies showed. So, again, I just have to reiterate, even inflating all of the numbers, even ridiculous inflation that's way off, and it's sponsored by the fucking Koch brothers, even then, you still save hundreds of billions annually. The fuck? I don't see what I didn't know there was still a debate going on.
Well, there is between people who have financial investments in it being this same way, and the people who occupy the rest of the fucking country.
Yeah.
The many versus the few, and the few are winning.
Yeah, it's unfortunate now that we're getting close to the point. We actually are. We're getting close to the point where people are going to start announcing they're running 2020. We're almost halfway through Trump's presidency. Can you believe that?
It's been a painful 2 years. I really hope he doesn't get elected. My fucking coworker today said that.
Ooh, you want to make predictions today?
Possibly, but my fucking coworker today, he said, yeah, you know what? Trump may be fucking the country by trying to kick people off their health care, getting tax cuts for the rich, and basically sending jobs overseas. But you know what? I'm going to vote for him again in 2020. Like, how can anyone at this point...
Have you seen his new slogan for 2020?
Keep America great. Yeah.
Keep America great.
Yeah.
That's really awesome when 51% of people are in poverty.
You know why he says he wants to vote for Trump again in 2020? The reason he gave?
Okay, let me take an honest stab at this one. Okay, so he's
You're
one
not
of your
going to be able to
coworkers,
get
right?
it. You're not going to be able to get it.
Oh, challenge accepted. Okay, so he's one of your right-wing coworkers.
Yes, I have many of them.
Because Benghazi.
No, because he thinks that Trump could get the Republicans and the Democrats to work together and come to the table. Whatever the fuck that means.
What does that mean?
That's what I said! What the fuck does that mean?
That's quite the platitude.
He started saying that even after I gave all these reasons why he's fucking terrible.
He may have
his
killed
executive
a 9-year-old
orders
girl in his
kicked
first,
like
military raid.
that, and he also kicked 3 million people off their health care since he began taking office.
Oh yeah, he passed a tax bill that now even my father, who as you know is a right winger, now even my father's like, yeah, it's a horrible tax bill. I'm like, finally you see, like, did you read it? Like, finally, it's like, yeah, anyone making $75,000 or less over the span of 10 years is going to be paying more in taxes. There's sunset provisions for for taxes on the wealthy, but for us, $75,000 or less.
You meant the opposite. There's sunset taxes on us, not on the wealthy.
What?
You said sunset taxes.
There's sunset provisions. So
or sunset provisions, yes.
yeah, on the wealthy, not on us. So we got to keep paying. It's.
No, we. Oh, meaning that.
Yeah, a sunset provision is like so.
Right, I know what it is, but we have that because everyone got a tax cut.
Right.
But the sunset provision is on the people making $75,000 a year or less, not on the wealthy people.
The cut ends. Wait. Yeah. No. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just nitpicking language there.
Oh.
My bad. I was being an asshole.
Oh, okay. You confused me because I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, basically we're fucked. And he's like, yeah, he's good president. He's gonna get the Democrats and the Republicans to come together. Well, what the fuck does that mean? Like a lot of my coworkers just go into fucking non sequiturs. You know, whenever I talk to them about politics, I'll be like, hey, you know what? Apple juice is pretty cool. You know what I like? Pineapples. Not even talking about pineapple juice. Just pineapples. That's basically.
Apple juice is pretty good. You know what I like? Chairs. I like to sit in them. Chairs. You ever sat in a chair?
Basically, how political conversations with them go. Can't remember exactly what we were talking about, but yeah, it's just jumping a very wide crack. Like, how did you get there, buddy? Yeah, a lot of Republicans I talk to, mostly like my friends who are kind of right wing, and then my family who are almost all right wingers. I'm talking to them; they're just bad at debating. They're bad at debating.
Well, that's the thing is because. So I don't even think debate format is necessarily a good way to get to the truth or find answers. But I found that if generally people who aren't as good at debating, the reason they're not as good is because they can't follow logical arguments. I'm not saying they can't make one. I'm not saying they can't understand one. I'm saying they can't follow them. So when you throw these hardball follow-up questions that these hard-hitting journalists throw, they find a hard time to follow it.
Or make logical arguments themselves. Like this guy that I was talking to, I finally remembered. We were talking about the tax cut and how they have a sunset provision on the tax cuts for the poor people,
right.
And how 3 million people got kicked off their health insurance. And he's like, yeah, but he's really trying to come together with the Democrats about DACA. And I'm like, how the fuck did we get here?
Yeah, the Democrats also just helped sign on the new the budget for 2019. We raised the military budget, and we're over.
Yeah, that officially happened.
Yeah,
$717
billion.
Well,
good. We need a strong military. You know, if we had a $100 billion military, it'd still be so inflated. And we're over $700 billion. But predictions 2020. So I've been saying for a couple weeks now, Trump will win if the Democrats put up anybody but a Justice Democrat.
They really need to put up Bernie, or else they're not going to win.
I would count
Bernie is the best hope at this point because he's already got the name recognition and he's got the policies.
His popularity was 63% a while ago, and it keeps going up slightly every month. So he's still the most popular politician in the U.S. He's the next FDR. He is FDR. He's just alive, and it's insane that the Republicans still call themselves the party of Lincoln. And yet the Democrats have forgotten that they were the party of FDR. And hey, we got FDR reincarnate here.
And now we have a ton of little FDRs. It's great. You got Kanyela Ing.
Look how beautifully rolled that is.
Nice. You got Kanyela Ing. We got Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. That one governor, I think he was in Georgia. Now there's a guy running for Congress in Kansas. State where I was born.
Remember when the Clinton campaign was trying to out Bernie Sanders as an atheist?
My point is that they're coming up everywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
But I'm saying, like, even though they're coming up everywhere, the DNC doesn't seem to, not only do they not seem to care, they don't seem to know. In fact, I was just watching on the news the other day, or maybe it was earlier today. I don't sleep a lot, so I don't quite remember. However, they were talking a lot about how, just because this thing happened in the Bronx with Ocasio-Cortez, that doesn't reflect how America feels. The Bronx is not America, and they were saying stuff like that. It's like, okay, man, you can live in your little denial world all you want, man, but it is the rest of America. It's over 60% of America that all agree with the Justice Democrats, also known as social democracy, also known as the Bernie wing, also known as the base of the Democratic Party.
Yeah, it's his ideas are populist. It's a populist campaign. Populist
Doesn't sound very popular.
means it's popular.
Oh, I got a thing down there if you want to throw crap away.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, populist is popular. They run on policies that the majority of people are for.
With the exception of the death penalty. That's
I'm kind of with them on that one.
well, no, I am too. I'm just correcting you. That's the one. What's the one and only position the Justice Democrats hold?
I did say most. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, it's
I think.
yeah, it's just the one. That's the only thing that they stand for that the majority of people don't stand for. Every single other issue, they are with the majority. Yeah, I definitely agree, though. You can't have the government killing 4% or innocent people 4% of the time. That's just extra unnecessary
No.
misery.
Cruel and unusual punishment.
Yeah, it's really unusual to kill innocent people. That's pretty unusual.
Yeah. And cruel.
Yeah.
2 for 2.
And yeah, to themselves, to their families, and everything.
Yeah, a lot of people. I think there's a lot of emotion in the justice system.
Oh yeah, we are a punishment-based justice system. So we don't rehabilitate like Norway and all these places, Sweden.
No, we're like, you fucked up. Therefore, you got to basically spend the rest of your life in fucking misery
Bend your ass
you
over
fucked
and
up
take it.
one time. Seriously, even if you're in
Spanking,
prison
not rape.
with
That's a spank joke.
for a short time, like 2 or 3 years, like now you're fucked. You can't really get an apartment. You can't get a job.
Yeah, it's gonna be really difficult.
So basically, once you're convicted of a crime in this country, you're fucked for the rest of your life.
Plus,
you can't have a life.
Plus, now that you're out of jail, you don't have a cell phone anymore because you haven't been able to pay the bill on that. You haven't been able to pay the bill on anything ever, so your credit score is definitely fucked. Like,
I didn't even think about
that's
that.
what I'm saying. People don't even think about that. No.
Did they even let you get your finances in order?
Nope. No. That's what I'm saying. People don't even think about this stuff. Like going to prison, even if you only go for like 3 or 4 months or whatever, it legitimately fucks up your life. And yeah, maybe if you have friends or family that can help you get back on your feet, like I imagine a lot of people do, that's great. But that's not afforded to everybody. You know, not everybody is that lucky to have stuff like that. You know, some people don't have anybody, so they get out of prison and what is it? You know, nothing. So it's a good thing it's not based on, hey, okay, now you're in prison because you committed a crime. Let's work on fixing and correcting what you did and seeing what we can do to make you a better member of society, a more successful and valuable member of society, like they do in, like I said, Sweden, Norway, etc. But no, here it's just like you did something wrong, and we want to punish you. We want you to feel bad. We want you to make you hurt. Like all these idiots on Facebook, for example, like I've been seeing a lot of this. It's like, oh, child pedophiles, they should be put to death. They'd be like, wow, you You are so illogical. You are just an emotion-driven. What's the difference between you and a bonobo? Nothing. You run on emotion. Good for you, dude. What a pussy. It's insane. I don't get
It's
these
not.
people.
The punishment for that is not death.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like maybe we start with rehabilitation because maybe there's something fucked up in his head or her head, you know? I'm not a scientist. But, you know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's an awful thing to do, but does the punishment for that is not death.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Silly.
Another thing, those Scandinavian prisons, they're government owned too, and they're nicer than the ones we have here, which were privately owned.
Yeah.
Another argument against the free market for shit like this. And you can even think about it logically. Prisons have a financial interest in locking people up.
Yeah, that's why they lobbied at Congress to make more things illegal.
I was literally about to say that.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
It's mostly for weed. It's mostly weed.
Did you know that you can get a worse sentence for getting caught with an ounce of coke in your pocket than you can for rape in this country? It is worse to be caught with an ounce of coke in your pocket than it is to rape somebody in America, both in the maximum sentence and the average sentence.
It's the thing, they don't look at it that way. They don't compare sentencing.
Yeah, why would they do that?
Why don't they? That's crazy.
It's like how
Just
did
think
you make
about
your
it
system
logically.
if you didn't do that?
Like basically the equivalent,
It's worse than eye for an eye.
like what you were doing to your own body and nobody else's. That can get you a worse sentence.
Then rape.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's awesome. Good job. You know, I think a big issue with this is not necessarily that we're all a bunch of retards. But what do you want?
You got more chocolate over there, right?
Of course I have more chocolate.
Can we have some?
Sure.
You're the best. I'm gonna go grab it.
Okay.
You were saying?
It's the dark chocolate. What was I saying? Damn it. I hate when that happens. People interrupt you. Rape! That's right. So, wait, is that what you said?
We were talking about rape.
We were talking about rape. That is correct. Thank you, good sir. Yes.
Cocaine can get you a worse sentence than rape.
Yeah. I don't. It's not that we're all just a bunch of ignorant, morons. I think it's that people just aren't informed and they don't know these things, or they don't pay attention or think that these things are important enough to care about them. Even though it affects your life, your society.
Somebody close to me once said, politics doesn't affect my life.
Your sister said that.
I didn't want to mention that, but thanks.
Yeah, fuck her. Hey, Allie. Call me.
She's going to say her name on there. She will not be calling you.
She knows my number.
Yeah, because you texted her.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Han Solo dies.
Han Solo dies.
That was great.
When The Force Awakens came out. I was on the phone with her. And
Remember
then
when
you texted her Han Solo dies because she said that her and my mom were going to go see it. And I heard her in the background go, TJ!
Remember when that dildozer spoiled it for us? You threw this right back in the bag, you fucking lunatic. Jesus Christ. You some kind of animal?
What'd you think of The Last Jedi, by the way?
Which one was that?
That was the one with Superman Leia.
That was number 8?
Yeah. That was Superman Leia.
That was horrible.
Oh, it was so good in every other way, though. In the worst ways.
Oh, I would definitely watch it again if that's what you're asking.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's super entertaining. It's on Netflix now.
Do you want another one?
Sure.
This will be my last one.
I love chocolate.
Chocolate's pretty good. started using this especially after workouts.
You know what I love?
Because your
I
muscle
love
fibers want the
porgs.
glucose. What?
Why don't you have more porgs in your apartment?
I fucking love porgs! They're so cute! Yeah, I hate people.
Why were they in there? They actually had no narrative purpose whatsoever.
The children.
No. Plush toys, that's why.
We're in the money. Yeah.
Come on, my honey.
We've got a lot of what it takes to get along.
They made a fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
I still see the plush toys in the there's like the button in the hands. You press it and you make like it makes noises. They have that shit.
That's horrible.
They have giant like teddy bear sized porgs. Yeah, they really put a lot of money into that. That had to be the conversation. It's like, hey, we need something cute that we can market towards all the dumb children in our audience, and that we need something we can market that will make kids bug their parents to the point where they want to put their heads through the drywall so they just buy our shit. We need that. Porgs. They just give them the Disney eyes, and boom, they're fascinated.
Oh, I loved when Chewbacca fucking smacked one of them off the screen.
Yeah, that was kind of a
metaphor
for the audience's feelings during all of that.
Hey, adults.
We get it. We get it. We know your pain. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's like, hey guys. Yeah.
Do you see that Rian Johnson is like quitting filmmaking after that? He's the director of that film.
I know he's the director. I didn't know he was quitting.
Yeah, I saw like several articles about that of him saying.
For a guy who's made a lot of horrible choices recently, that's a pretty good choice.
I don't think it is though. I think it was because judging from his other films, he's a great filmmaker.
Yeah, but now he's not.
Well,
he lost all of his talent in one day.
Yeah, in one day. In one day. Yep, it just evaporated.
It could have. You don't know. People lose on average 3 IQ points every decade. You know, that could have all just happened in one day for him.
It was Disney fucking with his shit. That's what it was. And then didn't they have reshoots on this movie too?
It was literally over 90% reshoots. I'm not kidding.
Is that for the Last Jedi?
That is for the Last Jedi.
Is that for Solo? Because they seem to do that with all the Star Wars movies recently. They did that for Rogue One.
Oh yeah.
They reshot like 90% of that. They didn't do it for
7 though. 7 was actually good.
Yeah, because J.J. Abrams was in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember in the trailer for Rogue One, they still had footage from the original cut that they just kept in there. Granted, I think that they released that before they had like finalized the whole reshoot thing. But it's like, why? Is there too many cooks in the kitchen type thing, you know?
And you know what? In the problem with actors I found nowadays, because a lot of times you see films and movie shows like The Office, for example, do really well when the actors are allowed quite a bit of creative control and they can take the characters where they want, because they're the ones who have to embody the characters. But the problem is nowadays actors and actresses don't want to stir the melting pot. I mean, everybody, they care so much about how they're perceived, all the way to the point where it's not even affecting their language. Like you speak to a celebrity, and they'll never say something to you like, "Oh, it's nice to meet you." They'll never say something like that. They'll always say something like, "Good to see you," because what if I've already met this person? You know, I can't be perceived as somebody who they're the most fake, ridiculous people on the planet.
I don't know. I can't speak too much to that because I mean I don't analyze or know any of them personally, but I can say that it seems like Hollywood actors are a lot more mechanic than in a lot of the indies that I watch.
Yeah, because they just do what they're pretty much like the DNC of the workforce, right?
That makes sense.
Right, they do what they're told, like the whole Trump thing, you know. It doesn't matter. They don't think. They just do. Because they need to be perceived. And everyone's agent will tell them, you have to be perceived like this. You have to look this way. Dress like that. Don't wear this. Don't talk to the press. Don't do that.
But I think what's becoming more popular is a lot of these kind of indie-ish shows and more indie-like movies, even though they're being released wide. They're having wide release. Like, did you ever what was that? Birdie or something like that? The one with Saoirse Ronan. I don't know. I forget the name of it, but it was nominated for several Oscars. I know that. I think it won a few too. And the performances in that were just like so natural. It was about a teenage girl growing up in Sacramento,
California.
Yeah, played by an Irish Irish actress who I have such a celebrity crush on. Oh my God, Saoirse Ronan. I love Irish accents.
Are you what? I like Northern Ireland. I don't like Ireland as much. It depends on some. Depends if they're from like west or east. Because if they're from the west,
I don't know. I would love to play a clip for you, but I don't think we have the ability to do that. Do we?
We just agreed before this podcast
we weren't going to do that.
We weren't going to do
I really want to show you this accent
that I needed so that I could
it's
plug
like
in the laptop to the actual interface. However, he said, "You know what? Let's not worry about it this time." So that way, I didn't take the extra 10 seconds to grab and find it.
It wouldn't have taken 10 seconds, but no, it was kind.
Well, I found it now.
It was kind of like perfect.
So
fucking perfect. No, it was kind of like I don't know. I love accents that aren't American. That's where I am.
No, I'm not there. No. There are very specific accents around this planet and in this country that I like. I don't like most American accents. I don't mind the Boston dialect, especially in guys. I really like that. Like the classic New York, I think sounds pretty good on males or females. New Jersey women are kind of like okay every now and then if you feel a little trashy. People in New Jersey listen to this like, fuck this
you feel like going to a third world country?
What?
New Jersey, if you feel like going to a new world country,
wow.
If you feel like dipping that low.
You hear the subscriber count going down from 0 to -8. The hell's happening?
Who do we know who's from New Jersey? Oh, fuck, I know one guy.
Another thing, like actors that say that they're from New York, even they're from New Jersey because it quote-unquote sounds better. Like, actors have said that. Like, that you're so fake.
I mean,
yeah,
they're close enough. At least
they're close enough.
Well, I would I wouldn't blame them because
I'm from.
Especially,
I live in New Mexico. For everyone listening, we're shooting this out of New Mexico. It's close enough. It's the next state.
At least they get out of saying they live in a state where Chris Christie was once governor.
Well, at least in New York, they wouldn't have to say that they had a senator by the name of Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Yeah, touche.
Yeah, a big.
I'd rather
touche.
Hillary. I'd rather Hillary.
Are you kidding? Man, that fat fuck is so funny. I remember that time that he fucking.
He was literally called a fat fuck, and he acted like a goddamn child.
Well, he was actually called a fat motherfucker. He corrected him. He said, "I never called you a fat fuck. I called you a fat motherfucker."
That was hilarious.
That's how people in New Jersey argue. Hey, you fat fuck. Hey, you don't fucking talk to me. You don't call me a fucking fat fuck. I never called you a fat fuck. I called you a fat motherfucker. Great. Welcome to New Jersey. That's in America.
That was perfect. He got slammed. Remember that one ball game? What happened? Like he said that he was.
Oh, he did the video?
Yeah, the video. He got like God. In a guy's face.
He got in a guy's face because he made some comment to him as he was passing. And it was some like completely docile comment. I don't remember what it was. It was something to the effect. It was just criticizing one of his policies, but he wasn't antagonizing.
No, it was criticizing how he let his family onto the beach when he closed it for Labor Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he closed it to the public so that him and his family could take a nice little, little dip in the water.
Yeah, he said...
Not be bothered by the general public, the people around whom I don't need to spend any time because I only represent them.
Yeah. I'm special, so I can close all this shit except to myself. We're going to have a private beach for a day, guys.
Yeah, why not?
What a fuck.
What a fuck.
God, he's out of office, right?
Yeah, he is.
Thank fucking God.
But he's still Chris Christie, He's
still funny.
He's still going to the correspondence dinner.
Right, he can still be... Oh, remember that fucking... When Michelle Wolf was like insulting his
barrels
weight.
and a Chris Christie.
And
then he takes a
and then he takes a spoonful of ice cream.
He like laughs and he rewards his laugh with a nice spoonful of ice cream. He even upside downs it and everything. Come on, that's exactly what people do. Like when they're eating ice cream.
She's directly making fun of me for my weight.
No one got
what?
pissed off about that. Like, oh my God, did you hear what she said? She said clear. She said it's perfect smoky eye. What? Yeah, she burns facts.
She's going off of her appearance. She is making fun of her appearance. No, you snowflake.
She isn't. In fact, not only is she not making fun of her appearance, but she is making fun of Chris Christie's appearance. But no one cares because everybody makes Chris Christie's appearance jokes. No one cares. No one got fake upset about that. Aunt Coulter. But no, Donald Trump is going to win if they put up another corporatist Democrat. I guarantee you he's going to win.
Probably. But Bernie Sanders, if he runs, he's definitely going to...
He wins. Yeah, hands down. Everybody, even people who hate Bernie Sanders like he is Satan will tell you, of course he'll win if he runs. Everybody knows that now.
Everybody wants his policies.
Right.
I think he's got to start getting a lot more left. Because if he wants like any of his policies implemented, he's got to go way farther left than he appears to be.
Right. If you want to hit the moon,
he's got to go way farther left than he needs to be for these specific policies.
So you're saying the Democrats need to stop running to the right? So for every blue collar Democrat we lose, we're gonna pick up.
Was it fucking Joe Biden who said, the people in this country are waiting for a centrist or something like that?
Yeah, we've had that, Joe. We had that with your president, Barack Obama. We had the centrist. We tried that. He had a majority, and he had a filibuster-proof Congress, and he couldn't get Medicare for all passed. What the fuck were you? Tell me what you're doing. And you claimed to be for it, and yet you had a filibuster-proof Congress, and yet here we are. Riddle me that.
Yeah, I think the midterms are going pretty well so far. With all these progressives coming in.
I mean, the Bronx is not a reflection of the rest of America.
Is that true, though?
That statement? No, that statement's not true. Because in this case, it definitely is. Because look who won, and then also look who's most popular nationally. I just don't know how we're going to afford cheaper healthcare, man.
How are we going to afford it?
How are we going to afford that? I didn't pay for it. How are we going to pay for it? Like, okay, I'm just so happy. I'm so happy that the libertarians finally figured it out.
Oh, did you see fucking, what's her name? The chick from The View who basically like did the whole Kyle Kalinske bullshit on The View when talking to Meghan McCain. Yeah, we're going back to Meghan McCain. She's like, name me one country where socialism has ever worked.
Sweden.
And then Joy Behar, does
Denmark. Norway. Scandinavia. Finland, Iceland, and then the whole time she's getting higher and higher, bitch, and I don't want to hear what you have to say because it doesn't matter.
She's so fucking shrill. I was playing.
Sexist much. How dare you make an observation?
I was playing that clip at work today. I was listening to it in the background while I was working, and there were two other people in there, and. She was like screaming, like screeching, and they looked at me like, "What the fuck, Ryan? Like, what the fuck are you listening to?" I'm listening to
some spew on The View.
Some spew on The View.
Some bullshit.
I'm listening to bullshit, is what I'm doing.
That's all it is.
It's so fun watching that clip, though.
Horse manure.
Because I love watching Joy Behar just like fucking destroy her. And they plus they read Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's platform on air.
View.
On air.
Woo!
Yeah, it's getting
Free
a lot more.
Advertisement, bitches. Finally.
They covered that on Fox News. granted, Tucker Carlson was like, "Oh, this is scary," but he's still just like, even bad press in this case.
Cheaper medicine is pretty scary. I don't know. Free college, like, jeez, wow, holy fuck, guaranteed
Bolster
jobs,
our
the job
economy in the
program,
long run.
a new deal. Oh, Jesus, fuck.
Gross. Yeah, no. But the point is that they're exposing that kind of platform where they didn't ever before in history.
Yeah, then people could be like, jobs program, what's that? Look into it. Like, oh, that seems like something we used to have. That seems pretty good. Like, if people want to work, they should be able to contribute to the economy. Yeah, what the hell?
It's getting a lot more exposure, so there are a lot more people going a lot more to the left. Bernie
But the free market.
Dude, even if Bernie never gets elected president, he's still changed the world in our country, like, massively, just by running before and just by pushing the message and the Overton window kind of way to the left.
Oh, yeah. And now it's not even that. Well, yeah, it probably is that, but it's also the fact that not only is the Overton window more to the left, but more people are aware of the fact that, oh, it's okay. Because back in the day, you want to hear your opinion reflected. And if you watch the news on TV, you're not going to hear your opinion. You're going to hear these corporatist talking points. And you're going to hear it so much, you're going to think, well, whatever is in my head must be wrong, so let's go with this. And you don't actively think that. It's something that happens in your subconscious, and it's just because we're social creatures. But now that we're hearing our own opinions reflected on the news, more and more people are comfortable saying, oh, yeah, no, yeah, that makes sense. I agree with that. I believe that. And we've been seeing that since 2015. Well, that was 3 years ago. A lot of time has passed. The frogs are not any gayer now than they were. And yet here we are having Iowa with over 40% of Iowan Democrats self-identifying as democratic socialists or social democracy loving fucking commies.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she legit gets called the communist.
That makes
all
sense.
The time.
Because it's all the same.
Strong man.
Okay. Answer me honestly. Give me one single area where Ocasio-Cortez is not a communist. Give me one example. One policy. One single policy. Just give me one. It doesn't sound like communism.
Where she's not a communist?
Yeah. One policy that's not communist.
Well, you give me that.
But that's not how devil's advocate works. I'm playing devil's advocate.
It's kind of a hard question to answer.
It's an extremely easy question to answer. One.
Just like
literally anything on our platform would have been a great answer.
Just like Medicare for all, yeah.
Right. Exactly. Now, everyone in the audience who's listening, what he just said about Medicare, okay, and expanding it, that there was communism, all right? And anybody you hear see that, anyone you hear saying that just needs to be drug out in the street and shot.
Thinking about it from like a free market perspective, if you had a system like France's where they still have like a two-tier thing, where it's like private doctors, but then the bill just goes to the government, right?
Yeah.
That's not communist. That's still free market. Right. You still go to the doctor that has the best care.
Even in Canada and the UK, where it's
and it's cheaper.
Everything's public. It's like there's still democracies, like they're still capitalist societies. Like I don't know what people and even when you say something like basic minimum income, like I think it was Sweden in January 1st, 2017 implemented everybody who's over the age of 18 gets the American equivalent of $700 a month. And they did that in lieu of their welfare program. So if we were to implement something like that, it'd be like we get rid of food stamps, food stamps, welfare, and all these welfare programs, and we'd replace it with something like, let's say $700 a month, every month. Well, you can do the math really quickly. You take everybody who's an adult, then you multiply that by 700, you multiply that by 12. Boom, that's how much that costs. And if you actually compare it They found out it's actually cheaper than what we're paying now for food stamps and welfare. And it's so much better because guess what? If you're a working class person, you have a job, you get an extra $700 a month. Okay, look at that. Now that's some financial security for some savings. Guess what? When you save money, you know what you do with it then? You spend it on something for which you've saved. And then it goes right back into the economy. That's the velocity of money. And guess what? Let's say you lose your job. Oh, shit. You know what? But it's okay because I've been getting those $700 a month every month, and I'm going to continue to get that, which isn't going to cover shit. But you know what? It is going to cover food. At the very least, it's going to get you food. Or some time to find another job.
Yeah. Like a couple of weeks off of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you've been getting $700 a month every month for the past however many years, and then
on top of your full-time
on top
salary.
of your full-time salary, and then you get canned because your job is outsourced. Not that we'd ever outsource a job, except the fact that Trump outsourced over 93,000 jobs in his first year in office. Other than that, but it happens,
People just deny facts a lot, especially about like whenever I bring up the fact that that Donald Trump campaigned on keeping jobs here and like protectionism and all that, which is part of the reason why I was kind of for him initially, was the protectionism aspect.
Oh God.
I was duped, son.
Oh, when you
He's
say
full of shit.
when you say initially, you mean after Hillary Clinton was chosen as the candidate for the Democrats. You're saying after that is when you were for Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That makes more sense. That's at least defensible.
Oh, I was for Bernie in the primary.
Up until Hillary.
Yeah. I was
okay.
one of those voters.
I was just trying to
got
clarify.
flipped, and I barely got flipped. Yeah, it was just because it was like, well, Hillary's a shroud. She's going to get us into North Korea war.
It's like Amy Schumer says. I've never met anybody who opposed Hillary who had a good reason or who was informed. Nobody has a good reason to oppose her. It's not like she was for the Iraq war. She's against the TPP. It's not like she's for fracking. It's not like she's for war. It's not like she's for the Wall Street bailout. There's no real reason to be against her.
You hang out around some dumbasses, Amy.
Yeah, I thought that too when I heard her say that. I've never met anybody who had a good reason. Well, oh wow, who? Seriously, who the hell you? I'm not even saying like poor people, rich people, left, right. Everybody.
Called black people super
like,
predators.
Pay attention. And then she claims the reason is because people don't do their research. Okay, Amy. And then she picks a VP who's to the right of her, who's against abortion. Gee, I wonder why.
She didn't come around to gay marriage until 2013.
Oh yeah,
2013.
But there's no real reason to be against her though.
2 years before the Supreme Court decision. So, yeah, she's not late to the
Hillary Clinton, the one
late to the party or anything.
The Clinton campaign who almost had who definitely had a plan, but they almost implemented their plan of trying to out Bernie Sanders as an atheist. Could you imagine that? Like if they're trying to out they're trying to get people to not vote for you because you're an atheist. They're trying to get people to discriminate against him based on the grounds he's an atheist. Imagine if they tried to let's flip the script a little bit. Let's say they were trying to get people to be discriminatory against him because he was a Jew. Hear how fucking crazy that sounds? Yeah, that's how crazy that sounds. Because that's how crazy it is to try to out somebody as an atheist. You're the Democrats. You're supposed to be the party of inclusiveness. We message our message. With our values. You're supposed to be the party that stands up for people and doesn't discriminate. And here you're actively using tactics of just completely discriminatory. Like, come on.
Part of the reason why Bernie Sanders is so popular is that he's just real. Like he's not fake. He's not calculated. He just tells the truth. Yeah. Okay.
He just
tells the truth. He has principled ideas that he's stuck with for years. You can look at old C-SPAN videos, and he's still talking about the same shit.
Yep. He also got arrested marching with Martin Luther King Jr., who was also a democratic socialist.
You remember when Black Lives Matter protested at Bernie Sanders rally?
Oh yeah.
Black Lives Matter protested the guy who marched with MLK
in the civil rights movement. Yep. What a bunch of fucking... You know, one of the two people who started Black Lives Matter, one of them is a white dude. Fun fact.
Oh, is the dude who was like transracial or Sean King, something like that?
Man, I have not a clue if he was transracial. That would be news to me.
That's what everyone was saying. I don't know. I've not actually done a lot
I'm
of research into
trans-species
that.
anyway. I am. I'm a fucking dolphin. You don't believe me? You want to race in a pool? You know, dolphins might be smarter than us.
But that was hilarious. But I mean, Bernie Sanders is just so real. He just tells the truth, and he has principled positions.
Yeah.
So he doesn't try to think up a tactic like Ted Cruz did, or does. He's like, okay, how can I spin this to make me look good here? Bernie just looks good because he's for policies that help people.
But if it wasn't for fucking Devin, what's the result? Oh, boy.
Hey, I'm crazy. I think people shouldn't die because they don't have health care. I'm sorry.
Look.
Put me in a fucking loony house.
Look.
Look.
I love how he does that. Look.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Love that. It's so polite but firm.
Excuse
Stop
me.
talking over me, you dumb bitch.
I believe I was talking. You ignorant cunt. I lost the voice there, but you get what I was saying. I've lost the plot.
Dude, everyone wants to see a Bernie Sanders Trump debate. That'd be so good.
Okay, so I know Trump likes money, or he loves money. I don't know about the rest of the people in this country. I would personally pay $200 to be able to watch that, even just to watch it online.
If it were pay-per-view, they'd make so much money.
Send him a letter. Seriously, just make it a pay-per-view. You know, make it $200 a pop. I'd seriously pay. Seriously, not even kidding. $200. I know so many millennials that would pay $200 a pop.
Oh, he would get destroyed.
Make it a limited number of tickets to watch it. So then you raise the demand and then say, you know, let's say, I don't know, I'll make up a number. 5 million people can pay $200 to see it. And if you don't see it, you got to wait a year for it to actually come out. Or not a year, but like 6 months or something like that. I don't know. Just do some. Maybe not $200. I'm just saying people would pay to see that. People would easily pay to see that.
Yeah, that would kind of destroy Trump's whole ideology, though, in the public eye.
I don't know why people even have ideology. Don't be an ideologue, you know. Yeah, but Trump's...
It would, because people would see how full of shit he is. Because Bernie Sanders would point out all the corporate money he takes, all the time he fucking blows corporations.
Did you see that Trump just said that he would be willing to meet with Iran?
Oh, well, that's not...
No
that's
stipulations. No, it's not bad.
That's good.
Yeah, it is good, but he's saying he wants to make a better deal. My thing is, the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency, they had tested, when we had the Iran deal, 11 different times to see if Iran was holding up their end of the deal, and to the T, 11 times, every single time, and this is an independent agency. Iran was doing exactly what they needed to do. They weren't enriching uranium past a certain point so where they could make nuclear weapons. They weren't doing that. And all we had to do was not put additional sanctions on them and start giving them back some of the money that we stole from them. Now, what did we do immediately after signing the Iran deal? We put more sanctions on them. So right off the bat, we broke the deal. And then how did our government respond, the Obama administration? Well, it was more symbolic. Okay, if it was symbolic, that's even more of a slap in the face. One, what does that even mean to say it's a symbolic sanction? And two, you still put a sanction on them. So you symbolically said fuck you? Like, is that any better? And then guess what? They never ever broke the deal. We did, and then we scrapped it. And then guess what? You know what's going to happen now? Now that the United States has put out a message, you know what that message is? Don't trust the U.S. Now, whenever Iran does something in the near future, probably to retaliate, because if you look at what's going on, we're fucking them over. We're fucking over their economy. They're going to retaliate soon, and you know how the U.S. media is going to report it? They're going to say, look at what Iran is doing. They're not going to say they're responding to the horrible things the United States has been doing to them. They're going to say, look at Iran. You know, Trump just said, and I swear to God, quote me, because they will do this. Oh, Trump is saying he'd meet with them. You know, he's saying he wants to make a better deal, and all these people, look at how they're responding. They're being horrible. And they haven't done it yet, but they will, and that's exactly how the news media is going to cover it. It's just so obvious. It's so easy. A child could predict this stuff. It's just the same shit over and over again. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they don't actually address the situation in a real way.
No. They get part of the story because who needs all of it? That's exactly why news media is dying. Let's say I was a host of CNN and you were on my show. If they didn't speak, you know, if they said what they actually meant, this is what they'd say. Could you explain the Iraq War in 30 seconds? Because that's about how much time you have. Like, they ask you a question that basically requires you to define everything about what's going on in Iraq, you know, the Iraq War, which is my just example. And you got about 30 seconds to answer, then there's a little back and forth, and then it ends. Well, on YouTube, which is where everybody gets their news media now, everyone goes to YouTube, you can watch 2-3 hour podcasts where people have full-length discussions, and the entire talk for 2 hours, 3 hours could be like, what is the Iraq War and how did we get into it? And then when you go in that much depth and you look at what happened, and you look at studies and look at research, and you get back and forth, you can see, oh my God, I have a much better detailed image of what's going on now. There was even a study that showed how much people know about the world with relation to how they get their news. It was like if you watch MSNBC, CNN, etc., you didn't know much about the world. But the worst of the worst was people who watched Fox. People who watched Fox as their primary source of news media scored the very least and knew the least about what was actually going on in the world.
I wonder why.
Well,
Do you know that Noam
it's 'cause they're
Chomsky
repeating
literally
the same
called
story
that state news at this point?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, all of our news media is owned by 6 companies. The 6 companies that lobby to the people in the government who is owned by these people who spews the same message. So, indirectly, but still kind of directly, it is government run. It is state media.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Noam Chomsky's right.
Did you know that he's actually in Arizona? I didn't know that before. He teaches at U of A. He's a professor. I'd love to go hear him speak sometime.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I would love to hear Noam Chomsky speak. I talk about him all the time.
He's so fucking wise. Like, how?
Because you know how we are our age? He used to be that age. And what he did was he did what we do now. And that's pay attention. And he never stopped. Every single day. He was a political junkie. And that's just... Because we have these pseudo-political junkies here that pay super close attention to politics when there's an election. And then they take 2 years off, and then 2 years on, 2 years off.
Yeah, because politics doesn't affect them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you actually have to make politics a daily effort. You have to make dieting a daily effort. You have to make fitness and working out a daily effort. You have to make progressing yourself in your career a daily effort. And then once you're all done with that, now you have time for your friends and family. But Americans are so fucking lazy. They don't get that. They don't get that you actually have to structure your life and put these things before everything else. My mother's always, how are they so fit in France? How are they so thin? How are they so thin? Because they know that over there. They know that you got to prioritize things like health and fitness and working out and all this shit before friends and before family, you know?
But no, you need to work. You know, work is what you need to do. You need to work, pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
What if I can't afford boots? Light little joy.
Seriously, there are people who, right now, you know, I'm working like 80-hour work weeks to save up.
I was aware, yes.
A lot of money while I'm going to school on top of this. One, millennials are so lazy. Two,
yeah, fucking lazy ass millennials.
Two, why should anyone be required to do that? I resent the fact that I have to do that. There are people who I talk to from my friends and family and from my coworkers who were like, yeah, that's good, man. Like, you're doing the right thing, working 80 hours a week. Like, that's fucked that I have to do that.
My parents have an exchange student named Annie over from Germany. She's from Köln, which is in that video I posted today of me. I played a cover of Into Deep because you like that song, and I literally don't even know how it goes. I just
Which
played
apartment is this?
Charlie. Don't even say it. Just put to the right of charging Nissan car. That's what I put, and they know exactly. Because they're like, what the hell does that mean? They see
Guess what I'm doing.
Then they see a Nissan car,
Yeah.
and then they see the blink. Yep, exactly. Did you like the dark chocolate, though?
That was good.
Yeah.
I'm in need
Lindor
of carne asada fries, though, which is why I'm...
Understandable.
Respect, though, right?
I was literally about to say respect, yeah. Fuck was I just saying? Damn it. Damn it all to hell.
Mexican food both ruins and solves everything.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Personal responsibility. Dieting. That's what we were talking about at one point.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's fat in this country because of personal responsibility. Yeah. Yup.
Well, I'm saying like people don't I bet multiple people where you could say, "Hey, when's the last time you worked out?" and it's going to be more than a week ago.
Hey, you remember the last time we got carne asada fries? It was like fucking huge.
Yeah.
That was a small.
Get a large.
Should I get a large?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Unless you want to be a little puss.
Will you eat it with me?
Yeah, of course. If you get a large.
It's happening. It's fucking happening. Anyways, you were saying?
I was calling you a puss.
Thanks. Yeah, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, though.
I can't afford boots. Yeah, dude.
Where's my mind?
Yeah, just 51% of the country is lazy. That's all it is. Just literally over half of working adults are lazy. Because that's the percentage of them that are in poverty.
That's what rich people seem to think. What was that one fucking CEO who was like, yeah, rich people are all like dumb and poor?
Wait, what? Rich people are all dumb and poor?
No, sorry. Poor people are all
Today, Junior.
all
Jesus fucking
are
Christ.
stupid and like morally reprehensible. That seems to be like the ethos.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how much money do you got? Oh, not much. Jeez, Jesus. Fucking Hitler. You morally repugnant fuck.
I think it's because rich people and even like middle class people get the idea of like somebody who's like living in poverty as being like this trashy person in a trailer park who like waves a Confederate flag around.
I know what you mean. We've all been there.
Hey, Keisha.
That was a bit on the racial side.
Yours wasn't?
No? You don't know any white Devons?
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What about that kid in our...
You didn't say Devin,
what about,
though. You
what
said,
about that autistic kid
you
who went to our
said
high school?
Davon.
What about that kid
You
with...
said Davon.
He had the tism. Now you're going to make fun of my accent? There's that autistic kid named Devin in our high school, remember him?
All right. Hey, Billy. How about that? Now it's an everybody
now you
thing.
making retard jokes?
There's a lot of white trash.
I'm just saying that like Billy is like that's like the stereotypical name, you know?
Bill. I'm talking about just like redneck people in a trailer park.
Oh,
yeah.
That makes sense.
It's great. I have somebody in my family named Bill who's very right wing.
I'm proud of you, man.
Thanks. My point is he fits the demographic of people who are named Bill and watch Fox News.
So I have a question for you.
What is that?
So let's say 2020 came around and we were at the election. On the Republican ballot, we have Donald Trump.
Okay.
Donald J. Trump, sitting president, running for re-election. And then on the
Voting for him right now.
And then on the right side, the Democrats. Yeah, see what I did there? they run Cory Booker. Who would honestly? Who would and let's say their policies don't change; they're exactly as they are right now. Cory Booker today versus Donald Trump today. Who'd you vote for?
Jill Stein.
Okay, let's put yourself in that false dichotomy that retards do, where they say that you got to pick for the lesser two evils, even though voting against the idea of lesser two evils would show people that you have to earn my vote. We're not telling politicians that now. We're saying,
dude, I fucking wish I voted
regardless of
for
how
Jill
shitty
Stein.
the candidate you put up, my vote's yours. You got my vote. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to work. You just have my vote. Like, stop telling politicians that. Don't vote for them if they're shit. But you were saying, who would you vote for in this dichotomy?
Between the two of them.
Yeah.
Because you said the word dichotomy.
Yeah.
Probably Cory Booker, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think so, only because in recent history, very, very recent, like the past week, it seems like a lot of pressures on the Democrats to stop.
Wasn't he
I
one of the
don't think
ones-
people want change. Thanks, Nancy Pelosi.
Wasn't he the right? Inside the caucus or outside the caucus? I hate the word caucus. Who came up with that word? Crusty old white guys in powdered wigs. Anyways, yeah, Cory Booker. He's been kind of forced to get a little more progressive. Wasn't he one of the ones, along with like Kamala Harris, who said that they wouldn't take corporate PAC money for the coming elections? Pretty sure he was one of the ones.
I think he did say that, but he's
Yeah.
also the person who made it so we couldn't buy cheaper American-made drugs from Canada. Even Ted Cruz voted
Yeah,
for that.
he's pretty progressive though.
He's
Did you hear Nancy Pelosi say she was a progressive?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's really funny. Did you know I'm a swan? We can just announce things like that.
I'm a mountain now. I'm just a mountain. Don't question it.
It's like, I am progressive. That's just your opinion. Like, there's no opinion. It's math. There are X amount of issues. We can count them up. We can look at each one. Which side do you want, progressive or regressive? And we count them all up, and you're on the progressive side once. You're cool with abortion. Great. Good for you. That's it.
I once found like a PAC that was supporting, I think it was Kamala Harris. No, it was supporting the Democratic opponent for the Senate seat right now. It's Kristen Sinema. It's Kristen Sinema against Deidre Aboud. Deidre Aboud is the she's the progressive candidate, and she's fucking awesome. I met her. She's really funny. And Kristen Sinema, she's currently in Congress. Now she's going for the Senate. She was given corporate PAC money. She was given PAC money. She's a part of this PAC called the Progressive Women's Fund, something like that. Guess who else they fund?
Who?
Kamala Harris, Dianne Feinstein, Hillary Clinton. Yeah, all very progressive women. I'm pretty sure I saw Nancy Pelosi in there at one point.
We don't want change. The people don't want change. They like losing.
Yeah, these are progressive women. This is
they
what
love losing
the
over 1,000
establishment
seats.
thinks is progressive. Fucking Dianne Feinstein? Didn't she vote for the Iraq War?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
My God. Why don't we just run Condoleezza Rice?
Oh. Well, yeah, because she has a vagina. That's, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
she has two X chromosomes, therefore that makes her qualified to run for president.
You ever read Hillary Clinton's new book? The one that's, I think it's called something. I think it's called, I Take Full Responsibility for My Loss Now. Here, let me explain to you in 800 pages or less why it's everybody's fault but mine. I think that's the title, something like that.
Exactly. To a T.
Yeah, okay, that's what it was. Yeah, New York Times bestseller, sold 3,000 copies.
It's a
in
moot
week.
point, like especially when remember when they were doing the whole Bernie Bros thing.
Oh,
like they
the
were
Obama
calling
boys?
us like Bernie Bros.
Or Bernie Bros. Sorry, I
Yeah.
forget which strategy we're doing. It's all the same shit.
Yeah, Bernie Bros.
Pied Piper strategy.
And yeah, basically running. Oh yeah, she even responded to a question like, "What makes you qualified to run for president?" And she said, "Well, I'm a woman." That's even how.
That was actually the audience's response.
Okay, well, why aren't you pushing for Jill Stein then? Who's like has all the best policies.
And then
why are you pushing for? Yeah, why are people in this state pushing for Deidre Abood? She's the best one running right now.
Oh my God, I love
in a red state. I don't think she's gonna win at all.
I was watching this fucking guy, this Republican, going on about like right before the election actually happened, talking about the candidates and why one is better and why there's no better choice and blah blah blah. And someone in the chat was like, "What about Jill Stein?" And he was reading it because it was like one of those live chat videos. It was like Jill Stein's like, "Who the hell is that?"
Who said this?
Some random guy on the internet, but he was someone who at least had thousands of people watching him live, and I saw him say that because someone cut it out in a clip, and I was just like, what the hell? How the hell can you be reporting? You're so confident on what's going on, you're reporting about it, and you don't even know one of the 4 people on the ballot. There's 4 people, and you haven't heard of one of them.
It was Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, obviously, Jill Stein, and Gary Fuckface.
Gary Johnson, yeah.
Yeah.
Trump's a pussy.
Trump's
His fucking
a
eyes.
Pussy. That dude was fucking
I've
crazy.
been on the top of every mountain. Trump's a pussy.
What the fuck
I
was
ride
Gary
bikes.
Johnson? What the fuck was Gary Johnson on about?
Gary Johnson.
He was kind of funny at times though. There was this one
That's what
dumb
I want.
chick.
I want a president who's funny.
He was hilarious. There was this one dumb chick who was debating him about marijuana.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Yeah, weed has been known to induce heart defects." Yeah, and then
Induce heart defects.
yeah, it like helps with like cardiovascular shit, does it not?
Yeah, it is an
Yeah.
anti-inflammatory.
Yeah. So wrong. But Gary Johnson like clutches his chest and pretends like he dies, and he dies on the stage.
I remember that.
I was like, oh god, yes.
Yeah, because he smokes weed
Make
like everybody.
fun of him because make fun of her because she's not thinking.
Yeah, dude, we live in a country where everybody over the age of 12 smokes weed. Okay, dude, it's time just to like. Hey, you know what? My neighbor, and I know he's not gonna mind me saying this because you don't know where I fucking live. So my neighbor, he obviously smokes weed 'cause every time he opens the door, it smells like weed, and then and then his neighbor next to him, same thing. But anyway, he was coming out of his apartment today while I was coming home from just running some errands and such, and I saw him going out with his friend, and he had this shirt with a marijuana leaf on it. And he had the most stoner eyes I ever saw, and he looked at me, and he flashed me a peace sign. Like, just like this. He went like this. Straight up, like he was from 1972.
No.
It was insane.
No change in expression.
No, not
whatsoever.
at all. And he went like, peace, and he said something to the effect like, what's up? I had headphones on, so I couldn't actually hear him. But he passed me like a phrase, and he gave me a peace. And I was like, what's up? Like, dude, we need to really ban this shit, because it's making these people, like, greet me and be nice, and then make them all well rested and like very focused. And it's horrible, dude. All these like people in jiu-jitsu, like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, who use weed to help them so they can focus and actually more better concentrate on their joints and movements. And oh my god, these high performance fucking lazy losers, these stoners with their stoner food like filet mignon that was cooked in fucking butter. Like, oh god, these fucking losers, man. By the way, you want some whiskey?
By the way, you want some whiskey? Yeah, weed is bad, but hey, you want a beer?
Do you want some whiskey?
Nah, I gotta drive later, bro.
Oh, okay.
I'm straight edge. I don't do shit. You know this? I know this.
I know other things. Mr. Schmidt.
Anyways.
He takes the booze cruise, if you know what I mean, sometimes. He goes to the bars, he talks to the women. He goes, hey, I am not so straight.
Why did you go all Bartok from Anastasia?
Who? What?
Bart the Bat? Remember that fucking guy?
I didn't see that movie.
You didn't see fucking Anastasia?
No,
You sounded like Bartok, which is like the white bat motherfucker.
How does he talk?
And he talks kind of like this, and he's kind of a pathetic servant of I can't remember what his name was.
That would make sense if he spoke like that, but I do not think I was talking like that.
You were kind of high-pitched, kind of Russian. It did kind of work.
I wasn't fully trying to do Russian. I was headed in that direction.
You went there.
I was headed.
You didn't go full Putin.
Right.
But you went like You went like Hollywood Russian. Da. Das vidanya.
Oh man, The Highlander was a great film. If you're an idiot, did you know that?
It was random, but it was a great film. Sorry.
Well, I guess we
there
now-
can
I
only
know
be one,
idiots.
motherfucker. There can only be one.
There can only be one idiot. I guess we now know who that is, considering one of us just said they liked that film.
Yeah.
Right after
well,
I
the
said
other
if you
one
like that film, you were an idiot.
despises it. So who's the real idiot? That would be you.
Yeah, I think glad you agreed with me. You said it at the same time.
That film was a masterpiece,
Of
a
shit.
master class
Of shit.
in cinematic art form.
If art is a euphemism for bullshit.
God, what the fuck was that guy's name in Highlander? That guy was such a good actor. He
I don't-
needs to be in more shit. He was
Mel
also in
Gibson?
Mortal Kombat. What?
Mel Gibson?
Mel Gibson wasn't in Highlander.
Oh, I don't know. I've never seen it.
Wait. Am I thinking of two different movies here? There can only be one. That was Highlander. No, you're thinking about Braveheart. You're thinking of Braveheart.
No, Braveheart's where he does the Scottish accent horribly.
Yeah. That,
No, I'm not thinking about
You're
that.
not thinking about Braveheart?
No.
No, then
I
that's
just
then
I
what
just
we're
said-
thinking about is Highlander. Yeah.
No, I just admitted that I've never seen Highlander. This entire thing was just
And
a joke.
you're calling it shit. Are you trying to trigger me?
Yeah,
'Cause
that,
I'm
I just
triggered.
admitted that. Yeah, it was a joke.
Christopher Lambert.
Lambert. What a gay last name.
He looks like shit now.
That's a little rude. let's be civil here. This is the middle of the road podcast, not the fucking
No
crazy
middle
lefties.
I went swerving straight off the road.
Yeah, I bet you we're gonna.
No,
be
he
called
was a
fucking
good-looking guy in
right-wingers.
Highlander. Now he's like old and shit. That was a good movie though. You need to check that out. That reminds me of Ricky Bobby. Remember? Have you seen The Highlander? It was good movie.
That's a horrible Will Ferrell impression.
No, it was Sacha Baron Cohen.
No, it was Will Ferrell who asked that. Sacha Baron Cohen comes back later and says, "I saw the Highlander.
I
It
saw
was
the
shit."
Highlander movie. Yeah,
It was
something
shit.
like that.
Yeah, when he was sipping
Oh,
on his
speaking
caramel
of-
macchiato.
Speaking of Sacha Baron Cohen, have you seen his "Who Is America" bullshit lately?
He hasn't released all of it yet.
No, but the clips that he has been
I've
releasing
seen those some
are
so far,
fucking
yeah.
incredible. Did you see the Roy Moore clip that just recently came out?
I did not see that one. Last one I saw was the Bernie Sanders one.
Oh, bro, he basically he's like he's the Israeli guy again, and he's
He
like
played that character twice. I guess if you don't release it, no one would know. Okay, yeah.
it's probably in the same episode.
In Israel,
Yeah,
that one.
from Israel. Yes, he was
I love it.
like, we have Israeli technology. They detects pedophiles, and then he got and Roy Moore fucking buys it, and he scans himself with the wand thing, and then he scans Roy Moore, and it beeps.
Oh my
And
God.
Roy Moore is like, I don't think your Israeli technology has developed properly. I'm not a pedophile. I've never even had an accusation.
I've never even had an accusation.
It's actually factually wrong.
Wow, that's even worse. And that's exactly how someone who's not a pedophile responds. Because if someone did that to me and beeped, it was like beep beep, let's say I fell for it and I thought that this scanned pedophiles. As soon as it beeped on me, I'd look at him and be like, "Am I being punked? This is a joke." That's how a normal person responds. Not, well, I've never even been accused of
That
that.
was so obviously a goof. Like, he was so trolling him. Like, how dumb do you have to be?
Sacha Baron Cohen, with the exception of his makeup, of course, doesn't make much of an effort to hide the fact that he's kidding. Like, he makes it pretty obvious.
Like, this doesn't happen in real life where you wave the wand.
Right, I'm fucking
then it's him.
autistic, and I can see
He's like,
through
it
it.
must be broken. And then
It must
he
be
like
broken.
waves it on the camera guy, and it doesn't work.
Product of Israel. Israel.
Roy Moore fucking walks out of the interview.
Good.
It was great. God, he was such a joke. Remember when he had
No.
his representative on CNN? He was talking to Jake Tapper.
Is there a storm?
I think that might be my food. Hold on.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because I know the power went out a couple times. Luckily, this is all running off of a laptop, and I'm not using external power for the what's it called? Oh shit! It's a storm. Oh my god! It's raining.
I didn't realize it was raining.
Can you hear that?
I'm gonna give him a fucking tip.
Oh, for doing his job. So that's why he got paid. Jesus. Yeah, so it rains here. So, okay, if anyone who lives anywhere on Earth except for Saudi Arabia and Phoenix, Arizona, you know how, like, when there's a storm, how it rains? Take that much rain, that's about how much we get in a year. And I think we're getting about half that today. Or days like that. It's like one day you get half all the rain for the year. Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Where are your plates and shit?
You don't need a fucking plate. It comes with one.
I don't want to get it on the couch.
Then don't get it on the couch. You're fucking 24.
Make this a challenge for me.
That's a challenge? Just do what World of Warcraft players do and just get it on your shirt. Oh my god.
I am a slob.
Oh,
Yeah, we need plates.
oh fuck. Hey, don't put that down. What the fuck? You just looked at it. Jesus. Yeah, there's plates to the left of the microwave. I don't like using plates because I really wanted to find an apartment that didn't have a dishwasher because I think it's funny how there are apartments that exist like that in Europe and not really in the U.S. And I finally found one, and so I got it. But it's nice because I always hand wash and scrub anyway, and then once I'm all done, I put it in like every American does. After you fully, perfectly clean it, then you put it in the dishwasher, so that way it then sanitizes it and steams it after you've hand cleaned it, so it's twice as clean, you know? Now that I'm actually explaining how it works to the European listeners, I say they're like, well, you don't think we know how dishwashers work? No, I don't think that. I don't think you know how they work at all. You're jealous of our freedom. Oh my god.
Doesn't that look delicious?
I'll be right back. I'm going to open my second fork.
How do you feel about that?
Pretty good.
Could you open a third?
I have not opened the third.
Could you?
I could, indeed. For those of you who can't see and are just listening,
This is amazing.
which is all of you, you are really missing something.
Carne asada fries are honestly the best thing to happen to humanity.
I'm getting like half a fry each scoop. This is kind of bullshit. Fuck. You don't pick it out of this. We'll put it in the separate thing so that way you don't have to, cross-contaminate. See, this is why we need video. The people are gonna. All you people are like, what the hell is going on? I'm trying to sure. I'm trying to support my friends. And watch their bullcrap, and here they are just ditching me so I can eat some carne asada fries.
You know what?
You should get
delicious. So,
very delicious.
fuck right off, hypothetical friends.
Hypothetical friends. I love it. Wow, it's a little spicy.
This is the real shit.
I have a friend, Eva, from the UK. I literally forgot what I was about to say. It was related to what we were just saying. Oh yeah, she wants to try like Mexican food. Like
They don't have that in any capacity over there?
Are you kidding? Of course not. It's fucking England.
True. But, I mean, we have Indian restaurants over here, so there's not a little bit of diversity there.
Okay, so that was a horrible example to use because most people, our Indian food is British food. Like a lot of people think of curry as Indian food because the Indians made it for the British. So we don't have authentic, actually, we're a horrible example. We're a melting pot. We have everything.
This is a Good point.
I was about to say, like, did you forget that we're the melting pot? Yeah,
We're supposed to be.
we are. That's why I have all these like Chinatowns and flipping New York. That's all you have to say. New York, that exists.
Huge ass Chinatown.
I love Chinatown, man. Get some blueberry oolong tea.
I was in San Francisco.
Yeah, it was so
It was
good.
great.
I still have some. I was thinking about taking a road trip up to San Francisco. Just spend a few days there, you know? Oh, you know Mariah's up there.
I didn't actually.
Yeah.
From high school?
Yeah. From, she's doing marine biology stuff with seals. It's actually pretty interesting.
Good for her.
She hasn't told me too much about it yet. Hopefully I'll talk with her soon. Maybe find out more because it's interesting. Man, the ocean's bullshit, though. Especially under the abyssal zone. Fuck that. That's the reason I do human fucking biology and the biomedical sciences.
She wanted to do that for a bit. Good for her.
Yeah.
That's a good place to do it.
She's out and doing it. Yeah, exactly.
It really is. You have the sea, obviously, right there. San Francisco is a great city.
Oh, yeah. I would love to work in San Francisco after I get my PhD.
Don't plan on buying a house.
No, I don't know if I'll ever be a homeowner. Maybe. I don't know.
I was thinking about that, too. Not in this economy.
Definitely not. The idea of, like, the American dream of, like, oh, owning your own home. Like, well, it's not a thing anymore. You know, studies. I mean, it's not always better for some people. You can save a lot of money buying a home. That's definitely true because it is cheaper than rent, of course. But for a lot of people, owning a home and being stuck down to that home with that financial responsibility in this economy is not necessarily the best option for them. So I think it's really malicious and ignorant for people to make blanket statements like, oh, it's better to buy or it's better to rent. Well, it's better to buy for some people and it's better to rent for others. Like, life isn't black and white. It's complicated. You know,
Plus, you're not just paying your mortgage on a home. You're also paying, like, HOA fees, like housing tax.
So in some places,
Yeah.
sure. Not in a lot of places, though. Most places, there are no HOA fees.
You're paying for all your water and electric, which is going to be a lot higher.
Any kind of maintenance, obviously.
Yeah.
Something breaks, you got to fix it. Your AC stops working, guess who fixes it? You. Yeah. I'd rather spend more of my time researching, dedicating it to science. You know, maybe this is sad. I don't know if this is sad, but I think I'm having my most fun when I'm doing research. That's like the highlight of my twilight. Or playing drums. Playing drums, too. I'll give it that. They're a pretty good tie.
I have a lot of fun doing that as well. Like, at my work, a certain politician, local, visited. He is of the Republican persuasion. So I did some research into him.
The Republican persuasion.
And into all the corporate money he took in his most recent election. And I was like, and then I looked at his policies, and I was like, yeah, you know what? That makes sense. That's generally how it goes. I love looking at open secrets.
Oh, yeah.
And because you can go to other websites like VoteSmart, and then it directly like correlates. It directly the money they get directly contributes to how they vote and how they react to certain things.
Yeah, you ever noticed how WikiLeaks, which is an award-winning news agency, you ever notice how WikiLeaks is what the New York Times is supposed to be? Like, the New York Times is supposed to be this cutting-edge journal, you know, that keeps the politicians and keeps the people in power in check. You know, that they're supposed to be the watchdog, as they are. But they're not. WikiLeaks is. and people in the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, like, oh, this horrible WikiLeaks thing. Like, one, they're an award-winning news agency. Two, they're doing your fucking job, dumb shit. Like, when did you stop doing your job? Oh, you sold out.
Did you hear that Julian Assange will no longer be granted asylum from whatever country that he was staying in?
Ecuador, I think, yeah.
Which country?
I think it was Ecuador.
Ecuador, yeah. So they're going to offer him up to the U.S.
Dude, what does that fucking say to the rest of the world? It pisses me off, dude. Like, I'm from this fucking country, you know? I want to be happy about it. I really want to be happy to be an American. And be like, fuck yeah, dude, this country's the shit, you know? Everybody wants that. You know, like, you're from Dallas, right? You root for the Dallas Cowboys. You know why? Just, you know, it's cuz. You know, it's what we as social creatures do. I want to think that my team, you know, as they say.
Well, America is the best country in the world.
By what metric?
We're the best.
In regards to what?
We have the biggest dick.
True.
I've heard someone say that before as like a legitimate argument. We have the biggest dick.
We're the
Wording.
richest. We're the most powerful.
We have the biggest dick.
Last I checked, might makes right, so.
Basically, that argument, if you boil it down. We have the biggest military, so we can do whatever we want globally.
Even torture people. Torture people. Us. Oh, we're the good guys. That's why we hook up electrodes to people's balls. So that way they'll lie to us. And you know, because we feed them. Because we need people to... We feed them to say things. We need people to say that, Osama bin Laden... Or Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction. We need people to say that. So we let them know we're trying to get them to say that. And we torture the fuck out of them until they say it. Well, of course, anyone's going to say it. You're just trying to get this out so you can lie to the public and spread more propaganda. And how do you do that? By torturing people. Oh, just the other day. Literally, this just happened. The New York Times... Or, sorry, not the other day. It was the other year. In 2014, the New York Times finally admitted, yeah, they were torturing people. Remember how we said it was enhanced interrogation? It was fucking torture. Thanks for coming around 13 years late, guys.
There's this one guy who was on Joe Rogan, some ex-Navy SEAL, who was talking about... One, he was invoking his personal experience. So he was like, yeah, waterboarding? It's not torture.
Ah, you ever been waterboarding?
Yeah, this guy, like, he, on his own podcast or YouTube show, or whatever the fuck he has, he live streamed himself getting waterboarded. He was like, give me more. Yeah, to make a point that waterboarding wasn't anything. It wasn't actual torture. It's like, yeah, putting water on somebody's face, that's not torture.
Well, that's not what you're doing. You're not putting water on someone's face. You're drowning them to the point where they're at 1 inch of their life, and then you keep them at that 1 inch of their life.
Yeah, you're suffocating them.
Yeah, indefinitely suffocating them. Yeah, drowning, the best part of drowning is after you're done suffocating and your lungs fill up. It's peaceful. You know why? Because it's the same physiological response as drifting off to sleep at night. That's why people who have drowned and then were saved and resuscitated, they'll all say the same thing. You know, it was really, really painful until I gave up, and I took in my last breath of water, and as I breathed it in, I just felt calm and relaxed and at peace.
Right, but you never get to that point.
Yep, you never get to that point. That's why it's torture.
Being waterboarded, yeah.
And guess what? People are like, waterboard's not torture. Okay, quit talking about waterboarding. You're forgetting the part that we hang people fucking upside down, and we shock them with electrodes, and we fucking hook their balls up to car batteries, and we take long steel bands and we stab them through people's feet, you know? That's what we do. And everyone's obsessed with waterboarding, which is torture.
Yeah, but he was actually tortured, I guess. Or he's experienced torture.
Yeah.
Somehow. And he's like, no. I don't think he'd actually been tortured. He was around that
I think
a lot.
most people in the military have been tortured.
He was around that a lot because he was a Navy SEAL. It's like, I've seen torture. That's not torture. He was defending Gina Haspel when she... when she took.
His argument kind of defeats himself when he says, "I've seen torture." Like, really? You shouldn't have. What the hell is the U.S. doing if you've seen torture? You shouldn't.
Yeah, true. He's arguing against torture, but then he's like, "Hey, I've actually seen the real thing." Oh,
you shouldn't have. It's fucking horrible. That's us. We're the good guys.
the head of the CIA ran a black site.
That's what separates us between us and them.
Is that our public figures fucking torture people? She participated in it herself. It seems to me that if you fuck with a guy so hard and you keep going until they keep going until you hear what you want to hear, like they're gonna say anything you want, you know?
Oh yeah, well that's
Just to make
exactly
the
what I was
torture
saying.
stop.
That's exactly what I was saying. Is that because when they're asking you these questions, you know, like, okay, if you are the one being tortured, you know exactly what answer they want, and if you don't know, it doesn't take but a few seconds to find out. That's obvious. Anyone who can rub two brain cells together can logic that one out. So guess what? Now you're in a position where you're getting tortured, and you know they'll stop if you say X, Y, Z. Well, you're going to say X, Y, Z then, because you're going to want it to stop. Because you know how I know you do that? Because I'd fucking do that in a heartbeat. I don't give a shit what you want me to tell you. Whether I know it or not, I'll tell you. So, see, torture doesn't work. There have been many scientific studies on it. It's like, okay, once the studies have been done, discussion's over, guys. We figured it out. Let's move on to the next thing.
Don't tell that to climate deniers.
Well, you know, we haven't seen any warming, and it's only by a couple degrees, even if there was.
I found a snowball outside today.
What do you mean most of the Earth is covered in water? It's not like the continents are just floating there like lily pads, except for the fact that they are. It's exactly what continents are.
That's how they work.
That's how that works, genius. You think each continent is like this giant mountain that just stretches up from the fucking core of the Earth? Like there's an Africa-shaped mountain. Is that what you think?
Have you ever heard about Pangea? You know how they just broke apart?
Right, yeah. Continental
that
drift.
happens.
Yeah,
They drift.
Yeah, because we're in the water. Well, it's not going very fast. Well, it's kind of big. I don't know if you see.
It takes a bit.
Takes a little while, man. I don't know if you've seen it. It's big. It's the continent.
Bro, what do you think the world's going to look like 1,000 years from now?
America will look like Japan, and Japan will look like something we can't even imagine. That was a
We'll be that
hyperbolic
far
joke.
behind.
Right, exactly. I'm glad you got that. Take us 1,000 years to get there. It's like, hey, did you hear they're using, graphene supercapacitors? Like, oh, I heard that, but I don't know what that is, and I'm not going to look into it. So lithium ion's cool for forever.
It's the thing that I've already invested in, so.
Well, I put money in that, so the shareholders wouldn't be very happy if we plummeted.
You know what? Why don't gas companies? Obviously, because gas is going to go the way of the dinosaur. You know.
Was that a pun?
Especially
Because
it's a
gas is
fossil fuel.
because they're made from dinosaurs.
Yeah, I'm glad you got that one. But they're going to go the way of the dinosaur, and then eventually, electricity is going to take over. That's just inevitably going to happen. So why don't they just roll with it?
You know, there's still people that are like, well, Tesla, Teslas aren't the only electric cars, but yes, they are the better ones. Like Tesla, no one could afford a $67,000, $80,000 Tesla. Like, they're like $27,500 now. What? Like,
With the Model 3s.
Yeah, the average car is the average car. It goes up, so it's gone up a little bit since then. But last time I checked, average car is $32,000. Model 3 starts at $35,000 minus $7,500 because you get that for buying the car. So that brings you down way less than $32,000. And then I think it was Bill Maher, some retard, made the joke about like, well, maybe it wasn't Bill Maher. I don't want to say that, but someone made a comment about like, oh, well, that's for the baseline. If you want like air conditioning and stuff, and the audience laughs. Like, no, the baseline Teslas come with basically everything. The only thing you can really upgrade is you can make the battery even bigger if you wanted. You can change out the tires. You can add the cameras if you want the autopilot, and that's it. But like all the other stuff, like the car stuff, it's already fully upgraded. It's a Tesla. You get that for $27,500. Brand new.
Yeah, and eventually, as the years
And
go
it doesn't
by,
take gas.
you're gonna get into like the $10,000 to $15,000 range.
Yeah, it's like this. It's like the fucking
and everyone's gonna be able to get one.
It's like the retards who were against DVDs when they came out. You know, it's like, yeah, all new technology is expensive at first. It gets cheaper and cheaper. It starts out with the rich having it. It's already down to the point where even I have an electric car. Okay, I'm gonna sell it, because I want to start using public transportation because that's fucking awesome. But the point is, even people like me can afford electric cars, no problem. Like anybody can. It's crazy. And the Teslas, I mean, they start like 238 mile range, something like that. Like default, like the standard $35,000 package. I mean, that's where it starts. Like that's awesome. Are you kidding me?
$30,000. Yeah, you can find some pretty cheap ones too. Electric cars in general. I mean, you're looking at obviously like a smart car. That doesn't get great range, but
horrible. Yeah, but you can get one for about $3,000 brand new, after the tax incentive. Yeah, you only go 60 or 70 miles per charge, but
oh yeah, I forgot about that. You get a tax incentive for getting that too, so that's actually going to cut into your costs.
If you live in the United States, it's $7,500. If you live in specific states, it could be more. So, for example, Louisiana is the best state in the U.S. to buy an electric car because the federal government gives you $7,500. I think their state government gives you like $1,500 or something. I know California will also give you like $800 or something like that. But yeah, each state's different. But at the very least, you get $7,500 back.
So really, if they got Teslas down to like the $15,000 range, it would be like, yeah, the average person could buy it easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's already at the point where the average person could buy it because the average car is $32,000. That's the average car, and it's now cheaper than the average car.
Yeah, I guess I'm just thinking about how 51% of the country makes $30,000 a year or less. So that's like most people now.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, most people
can't.
Well, but we're talking about cars though. Cars are a luxury item. Cars aren't meant for poor people. I mean, they're just not. That's why they buy used cars. That's why they buy things off of Craigslist. They're not going to dealerships and getting 2018 fucking Escalades and whatever.
No. Can't afford that shit.
No, we're talking about cars. But hey, at least when we're talking about cars, we can now say, yeah, newer technology, electric cars, nice ones, fucking Teslas, which have basically an iPad in the front for a screen. Yeah, those are cheaper than average. They are less than average now. So all the people out there that are saying like, oh, that's too expensive. No.
I've only seen a few Model 3s since they came out here.
Oh yeah, my dad the other day just got the email to customize his, but right now the only ones that are available are the extended range battery because the other one's already sold out. So he's waiting a little bit until he can get them all with the standard battery.
I see so many Teslas around where I work, and they're all like Model S's. I love to show off.
Oh, that's such a nice car. So sexy. I love the Model S, dude. I can't wait till they make the Model P, the pickup truck they're coming out with. I've been thinking I want to save for that because every time I see someone with a pickup truck, I always see them doing stuff I wish I could do. Like it'd be nice just to throw shit in the back of your car, and then just take it wherever. Or when you're moving, think about that. How much easier it'd be to just take a few trips with your own truck.
Yeah, you always call up your friend with the truck.
Right.
When you're moving.
Right now, we're talking about going camping up sometime in the near future in Flagstaff.
Yes.
And we need to find someone who has a truck. Why not just be that guy? Especially if your truck's electric. Imagine the battery that could fit in that thing.
And the savings.
Yeah. Well, not just the savings. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. They did this test a while back, and I'm not going to even pretend like I remember the numbers because I don't. But it was back when only the Model S and Model X were around, and it was for the Model S, which is expensive. That one starts at like $65,000. But they found out that like for the average car that was the gas equivalent to the Model S, even though the gas car was like half the price, the Model S over a 5-year period, paying off a loan, is still cheaper, because not only are you not paying for gas, you're also not paying for oil changes. You're not paying for a bunch of the maintenance and all the checkups and all the additional, like everything. Obviously, everyone's read their manual. You know, every X amount of miles you change out the spark plugs, or X amount of miles you change that. Like, you save so much. Even in just 5 years, it's literally cheaper to get the Model S than it is the gas equivalent of the Model S. So it's already cheaper. And now we have the Model 3, which is half the price of the Model S. So it's like there's no reason. I guess the reason is you can't afford the upfront costs. But other than that, if you can, there's no reason that you should still be driving a gas car. That's insane. And then I've even told my mother, because she was like, okay, well, look, so obviously now we have the Roadster 2, which goes over 1,000 kilometers in a single charge. So that can just go across the country pretty easily. But my mother was saying, like, oh, well, what if you wanted to go on like a really long road trip? And I said, and you don't want to stop to charge for 40 minutes every like 400 or 500 miles. And I said, okay. So how often would you want to do this road trip? Like once a year, maybe twice a year? Okay, once a year, cool. How much would it cost to rent a gas car once a year? Oh, a lot less than the amount of money you'd be saving not paying for gas all year long, not paying for oil. So either way, even if you had to resort to like, I have to rent a car once a year, it's still cheaper to own the Tesla.
Yeah, if you want to take road trips.
Yeah.
And you have like a smart car or a Nissan Leaf.
Yeah.
You still be saving a shit ton. That's what you've done.
Yeah, it's exactly what it
When
is.
I went to California, yeah.
Yeah, when I took Ellen all around the place and everything, yeah, just rented a gas car. And guess what? I still save money because I drive my electric car every day. I have not paid a penny for electricity. I mean, some places you do, but I haven't paid in a long time. Like some Blink stations would be like 2 cents a minute or whatever. You charge it for like an hour and a half and it's fully charged.
You used to spend like quite a bit of money at our old place.
Oh, yeah. So we had this place that was 2 cents a minute, and dumbass me would always plug it in. And I used to have this thing out where it would send me a text when it was done. But then at one point I realized, or I thought the texts were annoying, so I turned that feature off. And then I would totally forget that I plugged in my car, and then it would be like a weekend for me. And so then like a day and a half would pass by, and I've been getting charged 2 cents a minute, and it's been like over 48 hours. And I would go, oh crap. And even though it's done charging, it charges you money, which is good. It should, to de-incentivize people from hogging the charging spaces. But yeah, I shouldn't have turned that notification off. And that happened to me multiple times. It's not like that didn't just happen once.
Like go to sleep.
Right.
Go to sleep. And then wake up and you'd be like, fuck.
Oh shit. Yeah, I'd be like, crap, my car's been charging for the past 10 hours. It's fully charged in an hour and a half. What have I done?
So expensive.
Yeah, that was a bit dumb. But now I charge at home. I have unlimited electricity, so it's free. Also, drive up the road 2-3 miles. There's a fast station, but it's also a free fast station. So I charge there. That's free. I charge at work. That's free. There's another place up there close to where I work, which is free.
It isn't as bad as I thought.
The Nissan place is free, and they have the fast chargers too. Yeah, it's quite nice owning electric cars. Plus, in Japan, like the idea of a self-driving car isn't a new thing. They've had that for a while. The Teslas are pretty good. Either way, regardless of what you think, they are, without question, safer than... You reached down like you need to touch my trash can. I have an automatic trash can opens up. He reached down as if... yeah, because the audience can't see us right now. So you got to narrate everything for them. You don't press anything. Don't fucking touch my trash can. Don't fucking touch it.
Ignored. Criticism.
I paid an extra $10 for that feature. You're gonna use it, goddammit.
You really got a boner for your trash can.
Hell yeah, dude. Infrared all the way. Keep America great. How you gonna afford that?
How are you gonna afford it?
How do you afford it? How do you
How
pay
you
for
gonna-
that?
Keep America great because it's so great. Because 45,000 people a year die because they don't have access to health insurance.
Hey, to be fair, some years it's only 38,000. At least one year is only 38,000. Most years it's 45 though. Must have had a good year.
Somebody made this argument to me. Okay, so we were. Oh, the comparison kills me. So we were talking about healthcare, and he's like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, 45,000 people a year die because they don't have access to health insurance.
Right. They don't have access to basic health care.
The argument he was basically making was that, well, most people don't, so
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
it's statistically not. Oh yeah, because I made the argument that
45,000 people die.
well, that about 42,000 people a year from Canada come to the U.S.
Which is like nothing.
Yeah, which is like nothing. That's like 0.01% of the population.
Right.
And then I
Which is
threw out
probably
the
the top
45,000 people a
0.01%.
year die because they don't have access to health insurance number. He's like, well, you just made the argument that 42,000 people come over from Canada.
Yeah, like the
so,
top
yeah,
1%. Yeah, the riches because they want the
yeah.
good
So
job
why
today.
is that number significant but not the 45,000?
Because it's 45,000 people dying.
Yeah,
You fucking mong.
yeah. It killed me. It
Jesus
was
Christ!
painful.
Like it's like they don't have internal processors. Like they can think, but they can't process. Like they understand the words you're saying. 45,000 people die. I know what that means. But no, stop. Fucking close your mouth. Don't fucking talk for 18 seconds. Think about what 45,000 dead people every year means. That means 45,000 Americans.
It pissed me off
Die.
too. Yeah.
Are you retarded?
And then we started talking about he's consistent. He's not consistent. No. So we started talking about the prison system, and then I threw out he's obviously for the death penalty. Doesn't take a genius to guess that, and I was like, okay, yeah, I agree with it in principle,
Right.
but 4% of the time people die.
Innocent people.
Innocent people die.
Yeah.
And then he also brought up the fact
That's
that
unnecessary pain and suffering
that's
to the American people.
Also not a majority. It's not a majority. Therefore, most of the time,
So
yeah.
49%?
So 96% of the time, they get it right.
49%
so
is not a
it's a pretty
majority.
good system. 96%. Yeah, but 4% of the time, people fucking die. That's not good.
Yeah, he doesn't understand. In a country like ours, a constitutional republic that's built for the people, by the people, etc. I'm not even going to say 1%. If one time ever an innocent person died, you have to get rid of it. You have to get rid of it. That's how we work. Oh, but it might cost a little more in taxes. I'll pretend like that's correct. Oh, it'll cost more in taxes not to have the death penalty. Okay. Well, we're the good guys, and you know what? Freedom isn't free, bitch.
Hey, yeah,
You
Let's
gotta
go-
pay money to get an actually free society.
let's go try to like overthrow dictators who kill their own people. But yeah,
Right, democratically
45,000 people a year die because they don't have access to health insurance. Yeah, that's fine. Flint doesn't have clean water. They drink fucking poison.
Have we
literally.
tried bombing them yet? 'Cause
Um,
usually when we have a problem, we just bomb it, see if the problem goes away.
Yeah, but yeah, let's go invade another country because they're mistreating their people.
Let's
us
aid,
us
Saudi
mistreating
Arabia
our own
in
people.
committing genocide
Yeah, that's
in
fine.
Yemen.
That's fucking fine.
Yeah, we're helping commit a genocide in Yemen. We're currently bombing 8 different countries. We have over 1,000 military bases globally. Not kidding. Lowest estimates are over 800, but more realistically, just over 1,000. But we can't know for sure because a lot of them are secret, and some are top secret. So literally, we can't know. But it's at least 1,000. I shouldn't say it. It's at least 800, but it's probably over 1,000, which is insane.
It's just I find it kind of hypocritical how people say, hey, we can't afford to save 45,000 lives every year,
Right. Well, how are you going to pay for that?
but we can go do offensive rescue missions.
Right.
We can do that to try to
We can
build
build
prevent dictators from hurting their own people.
All right, we can build cluster bombs in Rhode Island, which is a fucking war crime.
But what if like another country? What if like Russia came in and just invaded us? Would we be cool with that? No, we wouldn't.
Yeah, you can't.
Why is it okay
you
when
can't
we
just
do
go
it?
to people's countries. A lot of people listening probably like, what are you talking about? Like, no, think about it. Yeah, you can't just do that. You can't just go somewhere and set up a military base. You can't do that. You can't just send troops somewhere. That's you can't do offensive fucking strikes. You can't bomb Syria and lie and say that President Assad gassed his own people. One, no, he didn't. You lied about that in 2013. You lied about that in 2016. You lied about it again in 2017. Okay? It's bullshit. No one's falling for it. It's the same shit like with the Iraq War. I remember my mother was saying, like, it was a different time back then. People, that's what they said on the news. They believed it. Like, yeah, I know CNN and MSNBC and Fox News, I know they all went with the government-approved narrative. We all know that. But there were still people, even Jimmy Dore, who I kind of like listening to every now and then. People around the time knew it was bullshit. How? Because they thought like us. They were just skeptical. Like, okay, what's the evidence? And evidence never came out. And then you look at the story, and it's like, this doesn't seem to make any sense. Fucking Condoleezza Rice even told the president a month and a week beforehand, before 9/11 happened, hey, in a memorandum, first paragraph, declassified the 10th of April 2004. Hey, Bin Laden is planning on stealing American aircraft to attack the World Trade Center. And then, we're so surprised that it happens when it happens, which we shouldn't be. And then we use it as an excuse to get into an illegal war. But you shouldn't call Condoleezza Rice a warmonger, or you can't call her a war criminal for ordering torture because that's racist.
Yeah. Yeah, we're right now we're fucked. Gotten into that situation. We've gotten into that groove so deeply that it's going to be really hard to get out of. But we got a lot of progressive candidates coming up. I'm really excited about it. I'm really hoping Deidre Abood wins this Democratic primary, and she's neck and neck with Arpaio. Dude, Arpaio is the...
I keep seeing signs for Arpaio.
Oh, yeah, I keep seeing signs, but they're like ripped in half, which is hilarious.
There's one I saw that wasn't ripped in half, and it said something to the effect of like Sheriff Joe Arpaio for Senate, and they like really emphasized that like he was the state's But anyway, so I was thinking like, man, wouldn't it be great to like take a big sign and just staple it on there and be like convicted felon Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
Yeah. You know the guy who was convicted of racially profiling?
Yeah.
You know the guy who made a woman
give birth on the floor?
That's actually not true. The claim was that he made her give birth in handcuffs. She went in labor in handcuffs when they actually had the birth going. She was out of handcuffs, but after she gave gave birth to the child, she was back in handcuffs, like right after that.
Right, she shackled up for fucking pregnancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really bad. That's like a lot of trauma.
And he was in contempt of court. He was found to be in contempt of court.
Contempt of court.
When he was told, hey, you got to stop fucking breaking the law, and his response was no, and then he continued to break the law. Yeah, I mean, I would love to put that on the signs. Just like staple it, a big thing.
The guy who erected Tent City, a place where people had to rely on fucking what the fuck is it called? Dispenser machines.
Right. He himself called it a concentration camp.
Yeah, he did. He did. There's video evidence of it. But yeah, people relied on snack machines. They would take the money that they would earn in the prison camp, and then they would spend it on the food. in the dispenser machines, and that's what they relied on.
Should have came here legally. You know what I respond to people say that about like the kids that come here? It's like, oh, they should have came here legally. It's like they did. It's like, no, they didn't. Oh, really? Then how come 98% of the time when they're granted a lawyer like they should in the Constitution, how it says everybody in our land should, how come whenever they get a lawyer 98% of the time they're granted asylum? Oh, it's because they are here legally. Like, well, that don't make sense. It's because you don't understand U.S. immigration law, you dumb fuck.
Yeah, you still talk about it.
Yeah, yet you still talk about it. It's like, yeah. I've had to go through the immigration system. I've had lawyers. I've had to actually learn how the law works. To some extent, I understand it. And asylum is talked about in the fucking Constitution. And people just act like they have no clue. It's like they don't talk about it like you're an authority figure, dumb shit. At least I'm smart enough to know I'm an idiot.
Yeah, Arpaio was really big on the whole tough on crime thing, and a lot of that meant being tough on immigration because they view that as like a top issue.
Right.
Yeah, it would be so fun if it was a Deidre Abood versus Arpaio race because everybody in this state fucking hates Arpaio.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I know almost everyone I work with loves him. Like
even the right wingers that I work with, a lot of them hate Arpaio.
Oh, good, because they're still like my parents love Arpaio.
Fucking why?
Because nobody knows that he's a fucking felon. That's why I thought it'd be so funny to actually put that on the sign. It's not that I'm making fun of him saying, "Hi, look at me as a felon." I'm literally thinking it'd be funny because you'd be informing drivers because most people driving by like, "What felon? No, he's not."
Literally a felon.
Then they'll look it up and be like, "Oh shit, he is." Because literally, so many people in Arizona have no idea.
I don't know how.
Because they don't pay attention. Because it's not on the news.
There was literally
it's not on TV.
Even on local shit. Even hearing people talk about it, like when Donald Trump came into town to pardon Joe Arpaio. I was actually at that rally
during the hurricane.
Yeah, I was at that
dumbass.
rally. I was out there with the protesters. Yeah, even when that came, like, how did you not hear about that? That was a huge thing. Even in local news covered it ad nauseum. How do you not know?
Do people don't pay attention?
He's a convicted criminal.
All people do is watch national news. They
and the
watch
people
CNN,
who do
MSNBC,
know about
Fox
it think
News,
it was a
NBC.
bullshit charge.
Yeah,
Racially profiling.
Yeah, except for the fact that it went to court and this fucking like, dude, just look at the evidence. I don't. Stop your fucking biases. Stop being incredulous. Stop with your deluded idiot. Okay. Just because something doesn't fit your narrative and just because something doesn't fit your beliefs doesn't mean it's not right. I don't know what to say. Sometimes there's just some issues where there's just the evidence is so overwhelming. If you don't know it now, you basically just don't want to know it.
And I think having a candidate like Joe Arpaio go up against a progressive like Deidre Abood would really help people to know that kind of shit. Because then it would come out. It would come out and people would see, hey, this is like the establishment candidate. This is the status quo. This is change over here, Deidre Abood. Like, what? I like what she's saying.
Yeah, what she's saying resonates, huh? Like, well, yeah, that would help a lot of people that I know. Man, this seems like pretty good. Wow, she's got... Oh, holy shit, the scientists are behind her. The people who literally teach us how life fucking works.
I really need to give up like a Saturday or something to work at an event or something for her campaign. Because the primary for this state is in November. It's happening soon.
Make some phone calls, knock on some doors.
Yeah, I'd fucking be that annoying asshole for her. She's great.
Oh, yeah.
Those people are annoying assholes. But it's a necessary job.
Yeah, I tried helping out with the Sanders campaign. Good luck. A lot of luck that did. I'm so glad that the DNC made it so that if you wanted to vote in the primary, you had to be a Democrat, registered Democrat, making a third of the voters, the independents, totally removed from the election. I love that. And if you wanted to change to Democrat just so you can vote for Bernie, too fucking bad because you got to be a Democrat at least 6 consecutive months, motherfucker. Yippee-ki-yay.
Why is that a case? Why is that the case?
Because they know that if you're already
No.
registered as a Democrat, then you'll...
Yeah, no.
Vote for
Why
the
is
establishment
that?
candidate.
What was their justification for that?
Oh, because it's what they said. The analogy they use is, it's because it's our party, right? Imagine if you went to your friend's party and you didn't bring anything to the table, like you didn't bring any booze, you didn't bring any food, and then you said, oh, the party needs to be ran this way. You can't do that because it's not your party. But it's like, okay, but that's a horrible analogy because it's not a party. It is a political system that determines the fate of the entire country. And sadly, the way it's set up, we essentially have a 50-50 shot. It's either going to be red tie or blue tie. And you're saying that the blue tie, the 50% option that this person's going to win, you're saying that only a third of the country gets to determine who that 50% shot is? No, that's retarded. It's a public election. 100% of people, even if you're a registered Republican, should be able to vote for the Democratic candidate. Everybody, because it's a democracy.
Why not just have automatic registration? That'd be so easy.
We're not. How can we afford that? How are you going to pay for that? We're the richest country on earth. How you gonna, Sweden has it. Everyone. How are you gonna pay for that?
Everyone votes. Everyone with a social security number.
Right.
That's
what he just said
boom.
was communism.
What you forgot that what he just said was communism.
Anyone who believes that shit needs to be drug out.
There's somebody at my work who literally believes Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is a communist. There's somebody who believes that.
Dude, I honestly, I just can't do it.
I was like, yeah. Initially, when talking to him, I was just like, wrong. He's like, what? I was like, wrong. That's factually incorrect.
What?
Well,
What you say? What'd you say to me?
Well, she was like socialism.
She called herself a socialist.
Okay, so now,
But she didn't. Bernie Sanders did too.
You know, all those things are like different, right?
You tell me socialism's different from democratic socialism, and democratic socialism's different from social democracy, and social democracy is different from communism? That all sounds like communism. Fuck's the prop?
Name one country where socialism has worked.
Finland.
Yeah.
Done. Next question.
Isn't Finland like the happiest nation in the world, or is it Norway?
I think it's either. It's
Pretty
one of the Nordic countries. I don't think it's Norway. I think it's actually Sweden. I think it's Sweden.
Pretty sure it's Finland.
It's a Nordic country.
Heard it was Finland. Yeah,
they're all
'cause
the
it's
same
just like-
shit. They're all the fingers
some are
on the
more
coat.
Scandinavian in the good way than others. I think Finland
Or
is the
fingers
most.
or the coat, depending how you look at the way it's shaped. Because it looks like fingers. The countries, the way they're shaped.
Fuck you.
The fingers of the coat. That's the Nordic countries.
Yeah, Finland's, they have like a higher happiness rate because I guess people just feel a lot more connected. Obviously, they have healthcare taken care of.
I don't like
they have
saying
college taken care of.
I don't like saying that though, because when you say shit like, they're happier, then you get dumbasses like Steven Crowder who come up and say, well, see, the liberals don't know anything about science. So they're not talking about empirical evidence. Everything they're saying is subjective. Like, people there report to be happy. That's not how science works. One, Steven Crowder, since you're not a scientist, let me tell you something. Yes, it is. There is quantitative and qualitative evidence, and especially when it comes to things like human psychology, which is where that field would be if you're talking about general happiness with X, Y, or Z. There's going to be a lot of subjective questions and facts. There's still facts nevertheless. So your point in itself is stupid. But you know what? Let's say you're right, and that general happiness fucking somehow doesn't matter. Just because everybody there says they're happy and is happy, what does that mean? Okay, but let's say he was right. Well, there's still other empirical evidence. I mean, it's cheaper. Better outcomes, less costs. Those are numbers. So, it's better in every way. And there's still people who oppose it. It's despicable.
Yeah, how are we going to pay for it, though?
How are you going to pay for that?
How are you going to pay for it?
Anyway, I think this is a pretty good
I
place
was
to wrap up the
I was
podcast.
going to say we should wrap it up.
I think we've gone over the 2-hour point now. So that's a pretty decent length.
Yeah?
Yeah. So thanks for listening, you guys. If you listened, Why? Why the hell did you do that? But thank you for being a
Good
part
for
of
you.
this.
You're probably not even listening the whole time. You're off doing homework or some shit.
Well, thanks for listening to the podcast and being part of this with us. We will be back on the podcast the next time we have the podcast. We're going to be doing this every Thursday, by the way. It'll be posted every Thursday night, just so you have a schedule. This is Arizona Standard Time, of course. And to everybody listening, good morning, good evening, good night, good afternoon, and good day.
Goodbye.